There is a quiet tension that many people live with every day. They wake up early, they go to work, they pay the bills, they handle responsibilities, and somewhere in the background, there is a lingering thought. There has to be more than this. Not because life is terrible, not because work is unbearable, but because many people feel trapped between financial obligations and their desire for a more flexible, meaningful life. Social media often amplifies this feeling. We're constantly exposed to stories about financial freedom, early retirement, location independence, and people who seem to have escaped the traditional path entirely. The message is subtle but powerful. Freedom begins when work ends. For a long time, I believed that too. Today, I see things differently. One of the most important lessons I've learned is that work is not the enemy. The real challenge is often the lack of options, and creating more options requires a different approach than most people realize. When people say they want freedom, what do they actually mean? Most aren't looking for endless vacations. Most aren't trying to avoid responsibility. What they really want is choice. The ability to decide how they spend their time. The ability to handle unexpected expenses without panic. The ability to make decisions from intention instead of pressure. The problem is that many people associate work with stress, obligation, and limitation. Over time, work becomes the symbol of everything they want to escape. But when we look deeper, the issue is rarely work itself. More often, it's the emotional weight attached to it. Financial pressure, fear of uncertainty, feeling stuck, lack of control. When those pressures build over years, it's easy to start believing that quitting is the solution. Yet removing a job doesn't automatically create freedom. In many cases, it simply replaces one form of pressure with another. One of the core principles of conscious living is learning to look beneath the surface, not just at what we're doing, but at why we're doing it. For years, I thought my desire for freedom was about leaving work behind. Through reflection, I discovered something unexpected. I wasn't trying to escape work. I was trying to escape certain feelings, stress, pressure, old beliefs about success, fear of being trapped. Once I understood that distinction, everything changed. The goal was no longer to eliminate work. The goal became creating a life where work played a healthy role instead of controlling my decisions. This is where inner clarity becomes so important. Without it, we can spend years chasing solutions to problems we haven't fully understood. Many people are not searching for freedom. They're searching for peace, and those are not always the same thing. One of the biggest misconceptions in personal development and online business is the idea that freedom requires a dramatic leap. Quit your job, start over, take the risk. While that path works for some people, it isn't the only path. And for many, it may not be the wisest one. Financial stability creates something incredibly valuable: mental space. When your basic needs are covered, your decisions become calmer. You can think long-term. You can experiment without desperation. You can build without constantly worrying about survival. Instead of viewing work as something standing between me and freedom, I began to see it as a foundation, a stable platform that allowed me to build something alongside it. That shift changed everything. The modern world has created opportunities that didn't exist a generation ago. Today, one person can start a blog, build an email list, create digital products, publish books, launch content channels, or use AI tools to automate parts of their workflow. But many people approach online business as an escape plan. They want to replace their current life as quickly as possible. The problem with that mindset is that it creates urgency, and urgency often leads to poor decisions. Conscious system building takes a different approach. Instead of asking, "How quickly can I get out?" it asks, "What can I build today that creates more freedom tomorrow?" That question changes everything, because now the focus shifts from escaping to creating, from reacting to building, from pressure to possibility. Most people underestimate the power of simple systems. They look for dramatic breakthroughs, life-changing opportunities, one big solution. But freedom is usually built through accumulation. A blog post written today, an email subscriber gained this week, a useful piece of content published next month, a skill improved over time, an automated process that saves hours each week. Individually, these actions seem insignificant. Together, they become assets. Assets create options. Options create freedom, and freedom reduces stress. This is why I believe that conscious living and practical system building belong together. One creates internal clarity. The other creates external flexibility. Artificial intelligence, automation, and digital platforms are changing how people work. Some fear these changes. Others chase every new trend. I believe a more balanced approach is needed. Technology is neither the problem nor the solution. It's a tool, a powerful one. Used intentionally, technology can reduce repetitive work, improve productivity, and free up time for more meaningful activities. Used unconsciously, it can increase distraction, stress, and overwhelm. The question isn't whether you should use technology. The question is whether it supports the life you're trying to build. Every tool should pass a simple test. Does this create more clarity, more freedom, or more peace? If not, it may simply be adding more noise. Many people imagine freedom as the absence of responsibility. In reality, freedom is often something much simpler. It's the ability to make decisions without constant pressure. It's having enough margin in your life to breathe. It's knowing that one unexpected event won't completely derail your future. It's waking up and feeling that your life is moving in a direction you intentionally chose. That kind of freedom rarely arrives overnight. It is built slowly, deliberately, patiently, through hundreds of small decisions that align your inner world with your external reality. What if work isn't something to escape? What if it can be part of the journey? What if the goal isn't to eliminate work, but to create enough flexibility that work becomes a choice rather than a necessity? That perspective removes much of the pressure people place on themselves. You don't need to rush. You don't need to force results. You don't need to make life-changing decisions from a place of fear. You can build steadily, learn continuously, create systems that serve you, and allow freedom to emerge naturally over time. The conversation around freedom often focuses on what people want to leave behind: a stressful job, financial pressure, an overwhelming lifestyle. But perhaps the better question is this: what are you building instead? Conscious living isn't about running away from life. It's about becoming more intentional within it. Work is not the enemy. Financial stability is not the enemy. Technology is not the enemy. The real challenge is living without clarity, without direction, and without systems that support the life you want to create. Freedom is rarely found through escape. More often, it is built through conscious choices made consistently over time. And perhaps that is the most sustainable form of freedom there is.